We all know someone who seems to have it all. The perfect grades, the flawless projects, the effortless brilliance. But what if that brilliance had a shadow? What if every on a paper was signed by a ghost? This is not a story about a gifted student. This is a warning about the cost of stolen knowledge, and the hunger of a spirit who never got to graduate. In the prestigious Delta Science Academy, there was a girl named Emily. Emily was not stupid, but she was painfully average in a school of geniuses. Her parents had sacrificed everything to send her there, and the pressure was a constant, heavy cloak on her shoulders. Every failed test was a betrayal of their sacrifice. Every mediocre score felt like a personal failure. Her breaking point was the National Innovation Scholarship. The prize was a full ride to any university in the country. It was her family's only hope. And she was hopelessly behind. In a fit of despair, she fled the library, finding solace in the oldest, most forgotten section of the school archives, a dusty room filled with the records of students long past. That night, in her dorm room, she opened the journal. The pages were filled with equations and theories so advanced, they made her head spin. At the back, scrawled in red ink, was a strange, simple phrase: "My knowledge seeks a vessel. My work longs for completion. Read this aloud, and my mind will serve yours." But the next morning, she awoke to a miracle. On her desk, where she had left a blank notebook, was a fully completed, brilliantly written assignment for her most difficult class. The handwriting was not her own. It was the same elegant script from Alexander's journal. The ghost had kept his promise. The help was no longer confined to her desk. During a critical oral exam, a whisper, clear and cold, spoke the answers in her inner ear just before she did. She began to feel a constant, cold presence at her side, like someone looking over her shoulder. She was no longer just receiving help, she was becoming a mouthpiece. She tried to stop. She locked the journal away. But that night, she awoke to the sound of her own pen scratching across paper. She was sitting at her desk, her hand moving on its own, writing an essay she hadn't even been assigned. She was no longer the user. She was the tool. Alexander wasn't just doing her homework anymore. He was reliving his academic life through her, and he was becoming more demanding. The ghost wasn't just providing answers. It was pouring its own bitterness, its own competitive venom, into her. Emily spoke words that were not hers, delivering a crushing defeat that left Sophia in tears. The crowd cheered, but Emily felt only a deep, chilling horror. She had become a weapon. Alexander, with a cold, scholarly voice: "The final exam is coming. The one I never took. I will not be cheated again. This time, I will be there. Not just in your mind. In your seat. You will vacate." Emily had gotten everything she wanted. The grades, the scholarship, the validation. But she had rented out her mind to a ghost, and now the ghost wanted to buy the property. Permanently. The final exam was in 2 days. And she knew, with a certainty that froze her soul, that if she sat for it, she would never get up as herself again. Vacate. The word was so cold, so final. It wasn't a request to share her body. It was an eviction notice. She had been the tenant in her own mind, and the landlord had returned to claim his property. The scholarship, the accolades, it was all just rent payment. And now the lease was up. Madame Elise took one look at Emily's pale, trembling form and the dark circles under her eyes and knew. "You have a passenger," she said, her voice like grinding stones. "A scholar spirit. They are the most stubborn. They cling to their unfinished work with the tenacity of a bulldog. He does not want to harm you, child. Not in the way you think. He does not want your blood. He wants your future. He wants to wear your life like a uniform and finish the race he never got to run. To break this, you cannot simply tell him to leave. You must convince him that your future is not his to take. You must prove you are more than just a vessel," Madame Elise said. "But how?" The final exam was tomorrow. Madame Elise gave her a potent, bitter-tasting tea to drink that night, a brew to fortify her spirit and make her mind a less comfortable home for Alexander. "It will not drive him out," she warned. "But it will give you a fighting chance. The rest is up to you. You must confront him with a truth he cannot argue against." Alexander said, with a furious whisper, "You cannot stop this. I have waited too long. My genius will not be denied." This was it. The moment of takeover. She could feel Alexander's consciousness surging forward, eager to seize control, to let his hand guide hers and claim his long-awaited victory. But Emily, thinking of Madame Elise's words, did a desperate thing. She did not fight him for control of her hand. Instead, she picked up her pen, and with every ounce of her own will, she began to write. Not the answer. She began to write a letter. Right there on the exam paper. Emily writing, her hands shaking but determined, "Alexander. I know you were brilliant. I know it was unfair. But this is my life. My name is Emily. My mother sells fabric in the market. My father fixes radios. They sent me here with their sweat and their prayers. This future you want, it is built on their dreams, not yours. You cannot have it." Alexander, with a roar of fury, "Stop. You are throwing it away. You are wasting my talent." Emily whispering aloud, tears streaming down her face, "It was never your talent to give. It was always a loan. And I am defaulting. My average, imperfect life is worth more than your perfect, stolen death." For a long, terrifying moment, there was a silent war in that examination hall, fought over the soul of a teenage girl. The ghost of a prodigy, fueled by decades of bitter entitlement, against the raw, desperate love of a daughter for her own life. Alexander, his voice now faint, filled with a heartbreaking realization, You would rather have that? Your simple, struggling life, over my greatness? Emily thinking with all her heart, yes. So, dear viewers, what is the greater victory? To achieve greatness with a ghost's hand, or to claim your own average, authentic life? Was Emily foolish to throw away the scholarship, or was she brave to reclaim her soul? Let me know in the comments below. This story is a stark lesson that the easiest path is often a trap. Success that is not earned is a hollow victory, a crown that slowly becomes a cage. True knowledge is not just about the answers you know, but the person you become while searching for them. If this tale of a scholarly ghost sent chills down your spine, then you must not miss the story of the father who planted a tree to honor his ancestors. The link is in the description right now. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more chilling tales from the Safari of Tales. Until next time, remember, the only success that truly matters is the one you build yourself. Stolen success is a prison for the soul. True achievement lies not in the glory you obtain, but in the integrity and self-knowledge you gain on the journey.